happened?
There's a fort being built outside of my bedroom door. Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl,
where we have absolutely no chill because we'll be talking to Amber D. Lewis of the Fire and Starlight Saga tonight. I'm so excited. I love her so much.
Same. Yeah. I am Karin from the Cloud Wall.
And I am Mandy of the Atlantean Society.
Welcome
to the Incoherent Fangirl. Here we are.
I'm
in my library. I haven't been in my library in a few weeks.
But
here I am. Here I sit. The listeners can't see that, but I like to feel like you feel the vibe.
Yeah.
Feel the vibe of the library.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're back in the library. I feel like the library is like a set dressing for this podcast.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be there. So it's nice to have it back.
I kicked the husband out. So I have a bonus room in my house that we've made into a library, but it also has my husband's Xbox in it. And he has been playing Sea of Thieves every night. And so and then he had COVID, of course. So the past few weeks I've not recorded from here and it has felt very weird. So
it's very bizarre.
I'm happy to be back here.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. Do we have anything to start with, or shall we just get into it?
I don't think.
I can't think of anything. Oh, I think it was last week's episode, probably, because that was the one that I was just editing. I said Reggae Jean Paul. His name is Reggae Jean Page. I tried to fix it. It did not work. I don't know.
It went completely over my head.
It went over my head too until I listened back to it. I was like, Karin.
And I always thought his name was Reggae.
No, not Reggae.
Reggae. Yeah. Wow.
Anyways, I'm not a complete idiot. I just brain farted, guys. I'm sorry.
Like the whole rest of his name sounds French, but then the G is not pronounced in the French way. It's crazy. Cool thing to learn.
All right, so in our timeline, it is August 4th, but in your timeline, it is August 12th.
It is time to go pre-order the
Starlight in the Shadows.
AmberDLewis.com. This is your last chance to pre-order.
Before it comes out. Once release date comes, you are not entered to upgrade to a swag box, guys, and you want the swag box. No, you are not.
Yeah, I'm ready for the swag box. Ready.
And obviously, we will be talking about it next week.
Yes. What did you do? In this week in fangirling?
Oh my gosh. Well, Mandy, we have made it.
Yes, we have.
We should have started a podcast sooner.
Yes, we should have.
Because good Lord, where to start?
The amount of NetGalley arcs that have been thrown our way this week have been like
the amount of arcs in general.
And I have big ones.
Yes. I don't know how it happened, but I'm not complaining because it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So I've gotten 3 this past week from NetGalley and then 2 from indie authors. Mandy's got a whole bunch too.
I've got 5 and 1 audiobook.
Good Lord. So we are very busy.
Yes.
Very busy.
Yes.
But in the best possible way.
Mm-hmm.
So I posted to my personal Instagram, but I got an arc for Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tan, which probably one of my most anticipated sequels, of the year, possibly ever. I loved the first book so much. I loved it. I was immediately ready for more. I wasn't quite sure at the end of the first book what the sequel would be because it wasn't like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like one story.
It could have stayed.
It could have been a standalone, but I'm glad that there was a sequel. I finished it yesterday, I believe, and I just
The
trauma.
texts that you sent me were pretty great.
I think when I finished it, I was like, Mandy, I just had my heart ripped out, shredded
I
into
was gonna
tiny
say,
pieces, taped back together, and then shoved back in.
and I was
Because
like, oh, that sounds fun.
yeah.
That
And
sounds like a good time.
it was, so the book is split up into three parts. And at the end of each part, so end of part one, end of part two, and the end of the book, I was crying so hard. And I was just like, I think I was like messaging with Sulintan on Instagram and was just like, how dare you?
Why would
How
you
could you
do
do
this to
this?
me?
But also, it just, oh my gosh, there was one part where I was just like, please no. No. What? Huh? What's happening? I think I like immediately messaged her. I'm like, why would you do this to me? So if you read Daughter of the Moon Goddess and you're excited for Heart of the Sun Warrior, be prepared for tears, but also it's a really good story. Like, I did not expect where that story was going, and it's still just this beautiful world that she's created that entwines with Chinese mythology and magic and like love and romance and family. It's so good, guys. I wrote
Yeah.
I wrote a whole review. It's on the blog, so if you want to read all about it, but that was one of the big things that I read this week. Makes me so happy. I am about 20 minutes from finishing The Stand-In by Lily Chu. I've been listening to it on audiobook, and I'm like 20 minutes till the end, and I would have finished it, except I had to stop and record the podcast. I was like, I can't be late. We're gonna have a guest,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
definitely have to like make sure I'm done. So I have 20 minutes left, but I have loved it from start to finish. And because I am listening to it on Audible, Pippa Sue is narrating it to me. It's amazing. It's
Oh,
great. I love it.
love.
But it's really good. So the premise of the story, I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but there's a girl, Gracie Reed, who's just like your regular, typical, average girl. But she happens to be like a ridiculous doppelganger of this famous Chinese movie star who happens to be in town doing a play. So the movie star finds out about her and offers her a large sum of money to pretend to be her for public appearances so that the movie star can focus on the play and kind of
Yeah.
get some downtime. And so it's crazy to see this like regular person just thrust into like
Yes.
the
Superstar.
superstardom. And so it's been really good. And she is like, so the main character, Gracie, is like me. She like desperately, she's like, I need a planner to plan out my life. I need to do this. I need all of this. And I'm like, it's me. It's me. I love it. So I can totally relate. Not to, being mistaken for a movie star, but
Right. But
you know, maybe one day I will be a movie star. Who knows? We're
we ASMR'd that.
speaking
We're
it
just
into
gonna,
existence.
yeah. We're
But
gonna let
yes,
Marvel take it.
Marvel, it's balls in your court. I'm
Yeah.
here.
Come on now.
But so yeah, I'm almost done with that. And I'm sure I will have many thoughts once it ends because I already have many thoughts right now. And then what else have I read this week? I'm checking my Goodreads. Did I finish? Did I finish She Who Rides the Storm last week? Did I talk about that last week? I can't
Think so.
remember.
I thought you had.
Yeah. Maybe. I know I brought it up. I just don't know if I had finished it by then.
Oh,
No,
just in case you didn't,
just
you've
I did. I
defeated
did.
your child's
I
challenge.
did. I finished it at 3 a.m. Saturday morning.
Oh.
And then she was like, Mommy, did you finish reading your book? And I was like, yeah, that's why I returned it. She's like, how? It was so big. I was like, don't challenge me. I told you I would get it done.
You don't challenge a reader, child.
Nuh-uh. So she learned a hard lesson that day.
Yeah.
But so that looks like that's all I've read recently. But I have like I said, I have 2 more NetGalley arcs, and I have
Mm-hmm.
2 arcs from indie authors. So those will come up soon. I think like 3 of them have pub dates in September. So I'm like,
Oh God.
I'm gonna read these as quickly as possible.
Let me fly through these.
It's okay.
What was
It's
movie night?
we haven't had movie night in a couple of weeks. Beth has been having some stuff going on, and
Okay.
it's just like burnout, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, we'll just take a break. It's fine. We'll
Yeah.
we'll get back into it.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about there's this new reality show on, I want to say it's NBC. It's called Claim to Fame, and it's hosted by Kevin and Frankie
I've
Jonas.
seen about, yeah, I've heard about this.
And so the premise is there are, I think it's like 10 people who have celebrity relatives. And
Yeah.
so they have to, and none of them, nobody knows who their celebrity relative is. So they have to like figure it out, and whoever's the last one standing wins like some amount of money. And it is fascinating. I'm staring at these people. I'm just like, oh, who are you related to? I want to know. But
Yeah.
it's
So they
been,
don't
it's
tell the viewer.
the viewer doesn't, well, the viewer knows some of, like, they review in their little like talking heads, like, in
Yeah.
reality shows when they have go into the
Yeah.
box and they talk.
Yeah.
Sometimes they reveal it, and then other times they don't. I don't know if it's just the way that it's edited,
Hmm.
where they don't like reveal it,
They want to
like
keep
where
some
they,
of the air of mystery.
yeah. But so far we've had reveals of Zendaya's cousin, Laverne Cox's twin brother,
Hmm.
and Brett Favre's daughter. And I think that's everybody so far.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that have been like eliminated and gone home. Like once,
Yeah.
and then there is Kiki Palmer's sister is on the show, and she is freaking adorable. And the last episode, she like won the challenge, and it was like a fashion show thing, and she like had this ridiculously cute outfit with the best cleavage I've ever seen in my life. Like, I don't mean to like objectify or anything, but girl was looking fine.
Yeah.
And I felt like I relate to her because she's like, I've never felt pretty. I've always felt like I was the ugly one. I was bullied a lot, and I was just like, girl,
Excuse me. First of all, you're beautiful.
you are
So jot
stunning.
that down. So
Yeah,
no, like
like no,
don't relate to
don't.
people who don't feel pretty. Like I need you to know you're beautiful.
But I mean, like, in the way that it's like, I mean, I'm okay with myself now, but like, she was talking about how, like, in school, she was always bullied. She always felt
Yeah.
ugly. She never felt pretty. She didn't feel like she had fashion sense, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so I was just like, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Go
You're
girl.
beautiful. You're wonderful.
Yeah.
Your fashion sense is amazing. Like, so.
So do they get like, is it like they're handed a check, or is it like a check that goes to your charity of choice? Because if they're related to celebrities, like,
Well,
does Brett Favre's daughter need a check?
Brett Favre's daughter probably doesn't need a check, but I think it's so I think they get the money, but it's if for them, I don't think it's so much about the money for them. It's more of like getting out of the shadow of like their
Yeah.
celebrity
Yeah.
relative, like trying to make a name for
Come out on their
themselves.
own.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I mean, just because their celebrity relative is like loaded doesn't necessarily mean that. I mean,
Yeah.
daughter, okay, maybe.
The
Ooh,
daughter, that's the one I'm kind of
there's
like, hold on, you don't need no money.
no, she
All
does.
these commoners who have to pay taxes and all this, watching you
But
get a check. Like,
one of them is Whoopi Goldberg's granddaughter, and so it's very, and so at the very first episode, they like are allowed to tell 2 truths and a lie about their celebrity relative, and this girl was like, um, she's my celebrity relative's my grandmother. She's, I think they said she was an actress, and then she was like, and her greatest like biggest award is like an adult film award as her lie, and so she's like really playing into that, and I'm just like, oh
oh
my
my God. I bet
I hope
Whoopi is watching that like,
I hope she knew that she was gonna do that
I know
because
this child didn't. I know this child didn't
so
do this to me.
it's like the most ridiculous thing, and I'm obsessed with it already.
Yeah. I love that.
So that's what I have been watching recently.
I
And
like it.
yeah, I don't have anything that was like, I didn't watch any movies or anything recently. But yeah, that's like the new thing that I've been watching. It's been coming out weekly. So
Very cool.
that was pretty much my week. Just being overwhelmed with the amount of arcs that came in.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that we're complaining. It's the
No,
best
I
way.
love it. It's the
Yeah.
best thing ever. I just was not expecting it.
No, God,
Especially
it
like
blew
something,
up this week.
yeah, especially with the bigger ones. We were really, really
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
So thank you, NetGalley and
Yes, we
publishers, for
love you.
approving us for these. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right, what did you do this week?
Okay, so
As
this
if I
week
don't already know.
yeah. I finished The Villa, which is the arc by Rachel Hawkins that I was reading last week. Um, the ending I did not expect, but also kind of angry about it. It's one
Oh,
of those like situations where somebody who doesn't deserve something gets something, and so it doesn't sit right with you, but it's the perfect ending at the same time. So
interesting.
like, yeah, it was frustrating. That
All
was one of
right.
the arcs that I did not expect. And then
Yeah.
I
And
got
then,
Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid.
oh my
Listen,
God, the way I
oh my
screamed
God.
for you.
I know because I read Daisy Jones and the Six, which is like the Fleetwood Mac type, loosely based on like Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac. Then I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo like last weekend or
Mm-hmm.
the weekend before last. And so like she just has a way of like putting you into this universe. So like she puts her characters in the middle of like an era you know about. So you have
Right.
Daisy Jones and the Six is like the 60s and 70s of music. So it feels almost like they're like tweaking your memory if they did exist, you know.
Yeah.
Um you have Evelyn Hugo, who's in like the 50s and 60s glamorous movie, you know, Hollywood. And then with Carrie Soto, she's a tennis player in the 80s and 90s. And like at one point, she's at playing Wimbledon and she looks up and Diana is there.
Oh my gosh.
And like, or she talks about at one point, she's watching a VHS tape and she's like, the kid from What's Eating Gilbert Grape is in it. And it's Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh my
you
gosh.
know. And so like she peppers in at one point, this isn't a spoiler, but at one point Carrie Soto picks up a biography about Daisy Jones and the Six, so
Oh
she
my
also like
gosh. I
references her
love
other stuff.
that.
Yes, yes.
That is
um
so cool.
so without giving away spoilers, I think it comes out in January. I should have had that ready. um but I've got a blog. I just haven't finished, so I need to like paste it over to our blog. It will be up soon. um but without giving away spoilers, Carrie Soto is Back is about a famous tennis player who she like makes a bunch of like she makes a world record basically for tennis and retires because she's
Mm-hmm.
made enough money. She's got all of the, you know, brand deals she could ever want. She's got foundations set up to spend her money, you know, in a meaningful way. And then somebody else comes and is about to overtake her record. And so
Oh.
she's 37 and she's like, no, no, Carrie Soto is back. I'm here to defend my title. But what is beautiful about it is that through the progression of the story, you are rooting for both of them
Oh.
because you want Carrie to keep her title and you know you want her to get her, you know, break even more records as being now the oldest woman in tennis to do this. But then like the other girl's name is Nikki Chan. She's a British Asian woman. I think she's a first generation British. Her parents were Chinese. And so she's like, I could be the first Asian woman. I could,
Oh.
you know, I could do
Yeah.
this and this and this. And so like you want them both to win and you know they're not both going to win. And it was really good. And I like it took a little bit for me to get into because I'm not really a super big sports person.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like acting like I'm flipping pages. It was on my Kindle, but I'm like
Yeah.
frantically like I couldn't read fast enough. to
Oh, I
see
love that. That's the
how it ends
best.
up.
I
Yeah, it was
pulled
really good. I'm really
I pulled it up. It actually comes out at the end of the month, August 30th.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
August
Okay,
30th.
awesome.
And I didn't mention it. I'm glad you brought that up. Heart of the Sun Warrior comes out November 15th of this
Very
year. So,
nice.
yeah.
One of my arcs comes out in January. So
And
there's been quite a lot. That may be the villa. I can't
is
really
I was going to say
remember.
is the villa, let's see. Because Goodreads will tell us.
If it's not the villa, then it could be the do-over, or it could be one of the ones that I
January
haven't.
3rd.
Okay.
January 3rd.
So
Yes.
I finished the villa, which is January. Carrie Soto is this month.
This month, August
So
30th. So,
yes, go
if
ahead and
that
pre-order
sounds
that.
if that sounds up your alley, get on it.
Even if you're not a sports person, just trust me, I'm not either. I wrote, like, you have to write for NetGalley. You have to write
Yes.
a blurb blog, or a blurb review. I've still got some tweaking to do on the one I'm kind of writing for our blog, but my biggest takeaway was, like, reading this book made me want to watch Wimbledon next year for more than just Tom Hiddleston sitting in the stands. Like,
Yeah.
all I knew about tennis was Serena Williams, obviously,
right.
GOAT, and that Tom Hiddleston goes to Wimbledon to watch tennis. Like, that's all I knew. And now I know, like, why they say game, set, match. Mm-hmm. I know some of the moves that they, like, what they call some of the moves. I know how you can injure yourself playing tennis so easily. I know some of the stretches they do. It's really cool. It's really, really cool.
That's
So
awesome.
I was really excited about that book.
Yeah.
We only watched one episode, but we've been trying to catch up on Evil. We're a few episodes behind. So we put Evil on last night, and it was this. So I know I've talked about Evil before. It's kind of a weird show, sometimes borders on sacrilege. So if you are religious, it might not be the show for you. You can give it a try and decide if you don't want to watch it. Mm-hmm. But they have, like, the intro every week is like this big pop-up book, and it's like the alphabet. So it'll be like D is for demons, and that whole episode's about demons. So this week it was A is for algorithm, and it was like people, basically it's like an app that's TikTok, basically, where people were saying they were possessed because of this, like, trend, but they were, like, eating glass and, like, making themselves bleed, where the guy that they were trying to emulate had made a glass out of sugar and bit into it and have blood capsules, but they didn't know that, and so they were all pretending that they were possessed. And it talked about, like, one of the characters is a mom, and so her algorithm starts out with mom videos and, like, a margarita with pop rocks for the on the the rim. Mm-hmm. And then the priest would get, like, religious videos, but then it always turned to, like, hers was like, sometimes I think about murdering my children, and it's like it all went dark. Or, like, the priest was like, sometimes I look at videos of children, and it was like, is the algorithm perpetuating you to get into the headspace of dark and evil and bad? Yeah, it was crazy. There was, like, this is a spoiler, so just there's this one for 30 seconds. There's this one mom who claims she's possessed, her kids are possessed, and all of this. Well, like, come to find out, like, the app was, like, recording the whole video, and then when she edited it down, the app still had the full video, and they turned it over to, like, investigators. The mom wanted, like, clout for her house being possessed, so she went in with, like, one of those, like, metal, like, tong things that you, like, shred meat with. Mm-hmm. She walks in, she steps over her kid and, like, scratches him across the back, then hides it under the bed. She's like, honey, what happened? Did something scratch you? And Josh and I were just sitting there, like, watching through our fingers, like,
oh my God,
what kind of clout do you need to hurt your child? Like, this is awful. It was crazy.
Called CPS on her. Damn.
I'm sure they did.
Good
I'm
Lord.
sure they did. It doesn't show it, but they, like, go and confront her, and they're like, this will be handled. So that's insane. It was crazy. Like, I did not look at TikTok last night after that episode or not. I was like, I am going to bed and you're going over there. Not that my TikTok has it has a lot of political stuff that will impact my mental health, so I've been trying to skip those.
Yeah.
just for my mental health.
Yep.
On top of that, I didn't necessarily need a break from arcs, but I knew that I needed to get stuff around my house done today
Mm-hmm.
or last night. I'm sorry. And so I was like, if I start one of these arcs that I have to physically read, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So at like that same, within like the same hour, Libby was like, hey, your Atlas 6 hold is ready for audio. So I was like, all right, well, I was trying to hold out on the Atlas 6 because the sequel comes out in October.
Yep.
But it's close enough. And so I started listening to it. The first, like, there's like it doesn't call itself the prologue, but it's a prologue. And it just talks about the Library of Alexandria and all of the knowledge that was there. And like it was so wistful. I just was like sitting there trying not to cry. And then in the very first chapter, I fall in love. Just fall in love. Um, it's like this trope is, I'm hoping this is the trope. God, I might fly off of my roof if this is not the trope. But it's like academic rivals, but everybody
Ooh.
who like, and they're like each other's equals. And it's a group of 6 people, but they are like paired together because it's magic and they can do like the same thing. So they are like
Yeah.
a package deal, but they hate each other.
Ooh.
But anybody who talks about them so far, they'll be like, he can't stop looking at her. And at one point, like, it's like he says something, and I mean, I don't really feel like this is a spoiler, but she's talking about this girl in their group, and she's like, I just figured you were gonna sleep with her. And he's like, if I was gonna sleep with anybody, it would be, never mind.
Oh my
And she
god.
doesn't see it. She doesn't see it, and she's got this fiance who
Ah.
so yeah.
Oh, my heart just went.
Oh
Ooh.
yes. And his name, I'll tell you his name in my fictional boyfriend. But
Coming
when
up.
he said that, I was like, hold on.
Oh my
Academic
gosh.
rival enemies to lovers.
Oh,
Please God.
love
I
it. I
can't
love it.
handle it. It's kind of like Big Brother-ish. So like I'm not very super far in, but like the premise is that every 10 years, 6 people get to like kind of compete to join the Atlantean Society and gain access to all of the knowledge of the Library of
Mm,
Alexandria. And you can
okay.
kind of just summon any, not like a scroll that you want from
Oh,
a million years ago, you know? And
okay.
so they take 6 people and 5 join. So they're living in like a big house together and kind of studying together. And at the end, I guess there's going to be some sort of something to call one of them out. But it's very like, it takes place kind of modern day. And so like
Mm-hmm.
they have outside lives, they'll call their, families or fiancés or whatever, but then there's like magic too. And
Okay.
magic is known about in the world, but like gives me kind of Big Brother vibes where like,
Mm-hmm.
will we form an alliance? I won't betray you, you don't betray me. I got like a few pages in at my hair appointment before this next thing. But I'm also starting The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, who this is the sequel to the X-Hex, who
Mm-hmm.
is also Rachel Hawkins.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
So hold
What?
on. Yeah. Let me make
My
sure I'm
brain,
not being.
my brain just melted.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Erin Sterling also writes under the name Rachel Hawkins or vice versa.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the villa, and I think it's The Girl Next Door. I think it's one of her other like mystery books. And
There's.
then she's Erin Sterling, writing the X Hex.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had no idea until I got these arcs. And like I went to follow her, and I don't remember which account it was first, but like she had that name and then slash the other name, and I was like, wait a second. Now wait a damn minute. What? Yeah.
Oh, my brain is melting.
I know.
I
So yeah,
kind of
I'm gonna
love
read
that.
that. And I know, just from like, I know myself, okay? I know myself. I'm gonna read this book and I'm gonna make my husband hate me because I'm gonna go get all my Halloween decorations out of the shed and put them up. And he's gonna be like, bro, it is August. And I'm gonna be like, listen, it's the Kiss Curse, okay? Sorry. I read a
Oh.
witchy book. Um So I'm excited about that. But something very exciting happened today. I was sitting in the chair with foils all over my head, getting my low lights and highlights touched up desperately. My teasy lights desperately needed to be touched up. So she's like, you got about 20 minutes. I'm going to clean up and I'll check on you then. And I look at Facebook or Instagram or something, and Colleen Hoover has posted, if you pre-order It Starts With Us, which is the sequel to It Ends With Us, you get right now, if you have bought it or if you buy it right now, you will get access to 2 chapters. We will email it directly to you. And I was like, I thought I already did, but like, slam that credit card down so fast. So because Atlas Corrigan is like probably top 5 book boyfriends. It's probably Aaron and Lorcan and Atlas and Karin from Cruel Prince, and probably Alec. Probably. So like, he's up there, like god tier book boyfriends. And so immediately, it was 33 pages. And it was so freaking good. And I just like, I'm sitting there, like at one point I had to stop because she had to shampoo me, and she was like, all right, I'm gonna put your toner in, it has to sit for like 15 minutes. So she's like, do you want to lay here or do you want to sit up? And I was like, I need to sit up. I gotta finish this. So I sat up and like I huddled over it, and it's so sweet. There's one, like, I don't want to give it away, but there's one line that just like shot me straight through my heart and made me just die. In the best, like, it was a good line. It was a very good line.
I love those. I love those so much.
It's like swoon. I just swooned. So yeah, that was very exciting, and that was my week. I'm sure I will have more next week.
We'll have more next week.
Reading to do.
So that sound means we have an intruder alert.
Oh my God, we've been dying for this intruder. If you've ever listened to a single episode of this podcast, you know Amber D. Lewis, The Night the Stars Fell, the Fire Starlight Saga.
We don't like her at all here. No.
We've
never talked about her in our
I don't have Kalenia on my shirt right now. I did not add a fictional town from her books. So thank you for being with us. This is very, very exciting.
We're very excited.
I'm equally excited and terrified. So
don't be terrified.
Don't be terrified. We are never prepared. Even when we have notes, we're not prepared. Like,
never. That's why it's incoherent.
Yes. It's
the incoherent fangirl.
Even if you make no sense, you're completely on brand.
Which is very possible.
It's like the best possible name we could have given ourselves, but because we never have to make sense.
Yeah. It's the best thing.
It's the best.
So I don't math. How many days do we have?
4 days. The book releases 4 days after this episode comes out. This episode will be coming out on the 12th.
That sounds right.
She has to do all of that.
I do all the math. So this episode comes out on the 12th. Amber's book 2 comes out on the 16th, which is 4 days. So if you're listening to this on release day, you have 4 days to get your pre-order in and possibly, get upgraded to a free swag box that Mandy and I immediately ordered before Amber's email even went out.
Yeah, we were like refreshing your website for real.
Yeah. I was like, "Are you ready?" She's like, "Duh."
And she's not even surprised by that.
No,
not at all.
Karin sent me the link to like the ARC application for Cal's story, and I was like, I did this days ago when it went up on Patreon.
I was like, I don't even know if you fill this out, but
it was literally like I posted it at 1:00 in the morning on Patreon, and Mandy is like,
that's crazy because
like,
Mandy
going awake.
Mandy's never awake that late.
Well, on the weekends I could be. On the weekends I stay because I'm a night owl. It doesn't seem like it because I like go to bed.
It's because you have to wake up early.
But on the weekends, if I could, I would stay up all night and sleep all day. So that I was reading, and that email from Patreon popped up, and I was like,
this is mine.
This time.
I am so excited that Cal's story is going to ARC readers soon because I need to talk about it so much.
She likes to low key rub it in. She does.
Listen.
I love it. It's honestly, out of all the books that I've written that are coming out this year, that one's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite. I love it so much.
I spent the entire time reading, like most of the time reading it, just with this giddy schoolgirl smile on my face. I was just like, I don't know how else to react to this. So I'm excited that that's coming. But we're here to talk about Starlight in the Shadows.
Starlight in the Shadows.
So this is your second, like, main storyline book.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How you feeling?
Good. I guess a lot of like the beta readers and most of the ARC readers that have already read the book like the second book more than the first book, which is really, really encouraging. So
yeah,
I had one of my beta readers say that she was afraid that it was going to be like a Shadow and Bone type thing where she loved the first book but was really let down by the second book, and she was so nervous reading through the second book, and she said that it wasn't that at all, that it ended up being really good.
It was really good. I spent the
really
entire
that.
That's great.
Yeah.
I spent the entire time reading it anxious because of your book trailers. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh no, this is it. Wait, no, this is it. No.
I read it in one single day because the next day I was driving to the beach and I was like, there's no way. I physically have to drive. There's no way that I'm going to be able to put this down for the 5-hour drive.
Yep.
So it was like me and one of the twins was here and I was just like, leave me alone. You can eat whatever. You can do whatever. I don't care as long as you leave me alone. And every now and then she'd come in and she'd be like, so how's Astra? Is everybody okay?
Indoctrinating to the next generation already.
Oh, they already know. I'm surprised I haven't gotten text messages yet. Are you so excited that Starlight in the Shadows comes out soon?
Yes. So excited.
So we're gonna ask some questions, obviously, but they're not like super difficult. I want to know like what your favorite kind of scenes to write are.
I like writing. You'll be shocked. I like writing the traumatic scenes.
Oh yeah. Well,
like the really emotional scenes, and I like dialogue, like especially when Aaron and another character, especially Bram, when they like go back and forth and they just have that, because you've got like the grumpy character who's like trying to be all serious, and then you got Aaron, and then Aaron and Astra's dialogue scenes. Like I just anything with Aaron really is my favorite scene to write.
Because you don't have a favorite.
Not at all.
Definitely not.
Aaron is like the love of my life in this story. I love him so much.
Yeah.
And I never knew how much I loved like a Grumpy Sunshine trope until Fire and Starlight and like Chloe Gong. I got an arc from Chloe and there's a Grumpy Sunshine. And I was just like, this is the best trope in the world. Why does not everybody do this? Like, I love a good enemies to lovers, but Grumpy Sunshine?
Yeah, there's something to be said.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's a good trope.
It's so good. Especially when somebody is as grumpy as Bram.
Listen.
Mandy's over here rolling her eyes. Mandy just left.
Bram.
She's left. She's like, I'm done. We're not talking about it.
How do you trigger me? Just bring up Bram.
He gets a little bit of a redemption arc later.
Yes.
I don't know.
And the book that Karin has right now, he gets a little bit of a redemption arc.
I don't know if I'm giving Bram any redemption. Like that.
Mandy doesn't have a least favorite character. Not at all.
No.
Not at all. She loves them all equally.
I don't want to give away like major, obviously we're not going to give away major spoilers from the Starlight in the Shadows, but like my biggest takeaway was everyone who has anxiety and depression or like trauma needs a friend like Cal. Like I was so in love with like just like the things.
Just wait, it gets better.
I'm just like
sweet Cal.
I just want to make sure you eat. I just I'm here for you, and it's like
everybody needs a friend like Bram or Cal.
That. Like Bram.
Everybody needs. Everybody needs a Cal.
Bram.
I love Cal. He's such like just sweet perfection.
Yeah.
Yes.
He really is. Sweet baby angel.
So
how did this story come to you? Did you just like one day you were just like, oh,
literally my next question. Thank you so much for stealing it.
I had a writer friend who would post writing prompt, and 1 week that was the writing prompt was something about twins being the only twins in their kingdom. What happens when they turn 18?
Oh my god!
And you got a whole series out of that.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
it kind of got in my head like an earworm, and I just kind of started writing, and I wrote for like a week and a half, and the story came out.
And you've said, I think I saw you say, I think in in the writers chat that we're in, that you don't outline or anything. You just write.
Nope.
I wouldn't know how to outline. I wouldn't know how to outline.
I don't. What even is an outline? Like how?
Apparently,
I just dive in. Even if I did outline,
that.
the characters would change it anyway, so there's like no point even trying. Now, I did about halfway through The Night the Stars Fell, I wrote the last like chapter and the epilogue, like about halfway through. So I knew where the story was going to go. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And I've already written the epilogue for the final book. Like I wrote the epilogue for the final book before I was finished with the first book. So I know where it's going. I just have no idea how I'm getting there.
That makes me so nervous.
I can't imagine trying to write with Aaron in your head. Like I wouldn't do that. And you're like,
yeah.
The funny thing is, in the first draft, Aaron's character was super, super flat. He was so like underdeveloped because I had no idea who he was going to be when I first introduced him. And so he didn't become who he is until like way later in the process when I was like reworking the whole story.
He's perfect.
He's
perfect.
He didn't. He showed up when he needed to in the developed way. Maybe if you'd written him earlier on, he'd be different. And he's not. He wouldn't have been who he needs to be.
Yeah.
Timing is everything.
Yes.
Like all I knew is that he wasn't going to be like the main love interest of the story. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And I love
that too.
Be like a ridiculous kind of side character, but he ended up becoming a lot more developed than I originally thought.
Because you don't see it very often. I the last time I remember seeing it, I mean, it's in Serpent and Dove a little bit, but also in like the Mandy project, where there's like the female main character and then the male best friend that there's never any like sexual interest. It's just, this is my best friend.
Veronica Mars, the relationship that Veronica and Wallace had. I love that show, and I love how they're always there for each other, like no questions asked. Yeah. But there was never any sort of like sexual tension between them.
Yeah,
it was just best friends. And I knew going into it that I wanted that for my character.
And I feel like we need more of that because people have this mindset that men and women can't be friends. Which is the most ridiculous thing in the world.
It's not true. It's not true.
It's not true at all. You can have like a platonic best friend who is a different gender than you and just be absolutely no like sexual tension at all. I feel like that's really important to represent in books and media in general because we don't see it that often. So I love it.
And I wanted to make sure that was in my books. Like that was one thing. Like I didn't know how it was going to come about, but I knew I wanted that in my books.
Yeah it works so well. It works so well in this story too. Like freaking Aaron, I just love him. I just love him so much. He is just I don't have a favorite.
The best.
So I don't know if you listen to our I don't know if we've ever talked about whether or not you listen to the podcast, but we have a segment called Fictional Boyfriend of the Week. So do you have like, I don't know, top 3, top 5 like fictional boyfriends that you just are like...
It doesn't have to be boyfriends.
Right, it can be like...
the fictional boyfriend, but it could be any.
Right, it could be anybody, but just like...
I think I just forgot every book I've ever read.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. Oh my gosh.
I'm sitting in front of books and I'm like, do I know how to read? Do I remember?
Yeah, like I've got like a ton of books. Like I'm surrounded by books.
Forget everything. It's crazy how when you're prompted with a question that everything just leaves your mind.
You laugh at the people on TikTok where they're like, hey, quick, name a state. And they're like, But I would so be that. I know.
Absolutely.
Name a book. One of them was name a woman. And they're like, a woman?
Blank.
I was like, what is me? Is that me? Am
Like,
I one?
I think my favorite book boyfriend is whatever book I'm actually reading at the time. That is like
Yeah.
the love of my life is whoever
Yeah.
is in whatever book I'm reading.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it
It's
just
yeah.
changes. Yeah. Like there's not anyone that like stands out more than
Mandy has a
Yeah.
favorite. Mandy has a
they
favorite
all blur
favorite.
together.
Favorites. I have Aaron from Shatter Me. I will give my life for. I would give my life for Aaron from Shatter Me, and then Lorcan from Throne of Glass. I really, really, really love Lorcan. I don't know.
He's a good one. I haven't read Shatter Me. I've tried to get into it. I just can't get. I just
You
can't
gotta
get it.
get
It's the
past
way
like the
it's
first
written. It's
two.
the way with the
Yeah.
words stretched out. I
And the
can't get past
audiobook,
it.
it's like, what is that sound? I almost stopped because of those, but I was so glad I kept going because that like the later books are really good, but it takes a lot of build up. But he is, God Almighty, he's so good. Never
Like
thought
I
I'd
own
have
the
a
entire
blonde.
series. I have all the books.
Yeah.
Because I bought the entire series at one time, but
Yeah.
I've never actually gotten past like the second chapter.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got most of them on back there somewhere, like off of Facebook Marketplace, and Mandy was like, "You just have to get through the beginning.
Yeah.
You just keep going. I promise." I was like,
I
"Listen,
told her
it's gonna be a while before I even get to start them, let
told her
alone
that
finish
about-
them."
I told her that about Cruel Prince too. I'm like, give it a couple of chapters. Okay. It
You know
takes
what's
a minute.
funny is that Cruel Prince hooked me immediately.
Yeah.
Like
I had
that
to force myself to finish the series.
I
I love
got
it.
it.
The problem with Cruel Prince is I figured out the twist like really early on.
Yeah.
And so I was just so frustrated that the
have, like,
characters
a-
were being that obtuse. And
Yeah.
so like I hated it because
Yeah.
like I had to force myself to finish it. I think that's what the problem was is I figured it out too fast.
Yeah. And you're
And
like,
then I
I
was
can't
just
even
mad at the
enjoy
characters
this.
for being so stupid.
All right.
Well, we'll see how
wasn't-
I fare because I
Yeah.
haven't gotten through all of it yet. But my library loan ended and my paperbacks haven't come yet. So I haven't quite gotten there, but I have
Yeah.
a lot on my plate as well right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So
You can see
I
we
don't-
prepared
I'm
really well
trying
for
to-
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
I'm
really
trying
prepared.
So we know that we have Cal's story coming in November. So everybody needs to, like Karin said earlier, if you have not pre-ordered the Starlight in the Shadows, I've been screaming it for months.
We've been
Okay.
screaming it since it came out for
Yeah.
pre-order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you anticipating? And it's like, well, nothing else because there's nothing really going on this
Starlight
month,
in the
but you know August is gonna be here.
Coming up.
And now we didn't really talk about it because we'd already recorded, but now pre-orders for Cal's story.
Yes.
Starcrossed is up for pre-order too. So
So
Yeah,
exciting.
I already have like 15 pre-orders for Cal's story, which kind of surprises me because like a lot of people haven't even read the second book yet to want to read
it doesn't
Cal's
matter.
It doesn't
story,
matter.
but people are already
It's-
buying it.
It's just
Yeah.
it was so easy to fall in love with Cal in the first book.
Yeah.
Though. Like
People already love the characters. They already love the story.
Yeah.
They know that no matter what happens in book 2, that they're gonna want to read book 3 or book
Mhm.
2.5, I guess.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, that means you're doing something right.
Hopefully.
So we've got Cal's story coming out, and then book 3. Do you have a slated release date yet for book 3?
Well, I'm waiting on my beta readers to get back to me. I have a tentatively it will be I'll be setting it up in the near future with my editor. We're hoping to start the editing like in October, which will put it for like a spring release date for book 3. But nothing's nailed down yet because just have to coordinate everything with my editor. But hopefully spring. We're looking tentatively at spring.
And there's 4 books total, right? 4.
Yes.
And then there's another
The
novella.
last 2 books were originally 1 book, but it was getting really long, and I underwrite when I write the first draft, and there were some like really weak points in the story that were going to take like a lot of adding, and it was getting ridiculously long, so I split it into 2 books.
Okay.
So yes, so originally it was going to be 3, but That wasn't going to work out because I'm too wordy. So it's 4. It's 4 books and 3 novellas.
Are you willing to share who the third novella is gonna follow?
The third novella is going to be Kai, which is a character in the second book.
Hey.
So, and his story is going to take place half in the present with the story, like where it is now, and half in the past.
Oh, that's good.
Because in
that.
book 3, Kai kind of does his own thing. So the novella is following what he's doing. So
very cool.
It's really funny because before I asked that, I was like, please be Kai, please be Kai, please be Kai.
And I was just going, please don't be Bram,
really
don't be
like
Bram.
him.
I love Kai. There was one week where I wanted to say that Kai was my fictional boyfriend, but we were so far out from release and people didn't know who he was. Yeah. So I was like, nope, gotta bleep that out. I'll pick somebody else. But I love him too. Yeah, so many good characters, Amber.
He was originally supposed to be and this just shows you I don't plan anything. Kai was originally supposed to be a casual hookup character. That was just kind of supposed to, let's say, just like cleanse the palate. And then I started writing him, and he told me no, he wasn't going to do that because he was Ace Arrow, and that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so completely changed what his character was going to be doing in the book, but it worked out a lot better.
I love
it than what I had originally planned.
Yeah. So at first you're like, dude, I needed you to fulfill this gap, and then you're like, all right, fine, you're better than I thought you were.
Yeah. It turned out a lot better that way.
Yeah. It's like sometimes
that's one
you
of the
have
best
to admit
parts.
They know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like
it's one of the best parts of writing is when your characters are just like, hey, no.
Yeah.
It's frustrating a bit, but it's
That's
also
exactly
like,
what happened.
Yeah. We should have started out, I guess, with how dare you? Our feelings.
Yeah. This is really rude.
Who gave you the right?
Who gave you the permission to do this?
Torture our feelings this way.
I mean, I just do what I'm good at. I have to use my talents. That's just where my talents lie.
Emotional damage.
Pain.
Cool.
Yeah, emotional damage and pain and suffering.
Cool.
In the best way. I would never want to be in pain. Not like that. But yeah, how dare you?
How dare you?
Listeners will know once you read The Starlight in the Shadows.
It's coming. If you
That's
don't
not
already...
even a bad book.
Oh, God. That's scary. Well, if you don't already have your pre-order in for Starlight in the Shadows, do it now. Do it now. Mandy, do your ASMR. Convince them. Do the thing.
Hey, guys, if you're a listener, I do this to because it worked one time. I tried to get, was it the
Fairy Loot? It was Fairy Loot.
Oh yeah, I ASMR'd to get Fairy Loot to like get us off the wait list, and then it happened. So I've tried to get Marvel to hire Karin as Silk and me as Gwen Stacy. Oh, actually, I want to be Princess Loki. She doesn't exist, but I want to be her. And then getting Karin to be besties with Chloe Gong. So listeners, this is Mandy's ASMR corner. I'm leaning into my microphone. If you have not already ordered The Starlight in the Shadows for pre-order, first of all, how dare you? Because I've told you to do this every single week, and you still haven't done it, and that's kind of rude, but that's besides the point. Right now, amberdlewis.com, pre-order The Starlight in the Shadows, pre-order Starcrossed. We'll tell you when more books come out, and you can pre-order those as well. Okay, goodbye. Now,
it's my favorite thing.
Go, Lord. Yeah.
Just pause everything.
It worked
right now.
once.
Go.
It worked.
It did work. It worked with Fairy Loot. She did her little witchy magic on the microphone, and then like a couple weeks later, I got off the waiting list for Fairy Loot, and then a couple weeks after that, she got off the wait list for Fairy Loot. So we're convinced it works.
Yeah.
Chloe Gong still hasn't messaged me, but it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Sure, she's on the cusp.
We had a listener from New Zealand that nobody can convince me was not Chloe Gong. Like it was totally her. Absolutely 100%. Even though she lives in New York now, nobody convinced me otherwise.
Okay, if for any reason it wasn't Chloe Gong, then it was A.K. Mulford.
Okay, I accept.
Because she's in New Zealand as well.
That wouldn't be totally out of the realm of
I
possibility.
know. Yeah.
I accept that as well. I like
Yeah.
that too. We have
Yeah.
mentioned her a few times too, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What else do we want to ask Amber? We were very
Yeah, we
prepared
wanna-
for this.
I know. What do you want to tell anybody about you? Like, not like revealing anything, but do you have anything in particular that you want readers to go into the Starlight in the Shadows knowing or remembering or keeping in mind?
I don't know. I mean, I just want to point out that the Starlight in the Shadows does start with a full recap of the first book. So if you
Which
don't
is
remember what happened
amazing.
in the first book, you do have that nice, recap.
I have to say, that is like amazing. I just read a sequel and I had read the first book in like January. And as I was reading, I was like, I don't remember what happened.
Yeah. What?
I was like, where's my recap, Amber?
Yeah.
Amber!
And then
That's
I
one
also
of the reasons I
appreciate.
never finished reading the second Crescent City book was because I could not remember who any of the characters were. I was so lost. I'm like, wait, do we
Yeah.
ship these two people? I'm like, no, wait, they're siblings. We can't. This
I
isn't
just-
Cassandra Clare. We can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I have to I need to reread the first book before I can jump back into the second
Yeah.
book because I don't remember who anybody
Mhm.
is.
I just listened to the audio and I was just like, I'm just gonna go with it and eventually it'll come back. And it kind of did, but at the same time, like, that is so much world building that even
Yeah.
I was.
It was-
I was
it was
gonna
a lot.
say, I appreciate the trigger warnings. I hate
Yes.
the mentality that trigger warnings spoil a book. No, you want to traumatize your readers, but not in a way that is bringing up actual like real life trauma. You don't want like a rape
Yeah.
survivor to read a rape scene just by
Right.
turning the page. Like, you don't want to literally traumatize someone who's
And
reading
my
your
theory
work.
on the spoiler, like that being a spoiler, is if that is such a main part of your plot, you're not doing the trigger
Right.
warnings right.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, you should be able to say that your book contains something. It'd be like telling people that a murder mystery, somebody dies in it.
Like, really?
Like, that's not going to spoil it. Like, that's just saying, that.
It's just preparing you for it.
I just read they both die at the end. The literal title of the book.
Gives
And
it
yet,
away.
somehow, all the way through that book, you're really hoping they don't both
I know.
die at the
I
end.
know. God, one of my nieces started reading it and I was like, just buckle up. I know they tell you, but it still gets you somehow. It still gets you in the gut.
Talk about spoiler warning. It's right in the title of the book.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So yeah, we appreciate the recaps and the trigger warnings, and I know a lot of other readers do too, because that's just something I don't think you see enough.
And not covering up your
Really.
beautiful map.
Oh my God, when I got that map that had praise for this book written all over it, I'm like, well, how am I supposed to know where you guys are sailing then? No, Amber
And
would
my
never
maps
do that
are
to us.
also on my website, so you can pull them
Ugh.
up on the website and have them sitting right there on your phone as you're reading.
That's perfect
I
because
still-
I need to. Flipping back and forth hurts me.
I
Especially
still
it's hard to do
haven't
with an ebook.
found. I can't remember what it was now, but there was like a hidden character or something in the map. And
There's
I
a fish. There's a fish.
I still haven't found the fish.
I have a map. That's what I'm looking at. There's a fish on the map. My husband drew the map for me. I'm like, put a random fish on the map.
And
And
see,
so he
like, I
put a
would like,
random
is
fish
this the fish?
on the
It kind
map.
of looks like a fish. And Amber was like, that's not the fish.
No,
Dang
it's
it.
in a really it's in one of the rivers. Like, it's in a river. There's little things.
I was
hidden
like,
on
my
all the
book's
maps.
all the way over there. I can't reach it.
Ah,
I was
there's a
telling
river.
Mandy. I was telling Mandy before we started, I'm like, I should have grabbed my copy of the book. And she's like, it's okay. I got one right here. It's like, damn it.
There's random sheep in one of the
Is
other maps. Like, I have my husband add random things to the maps just
I
because
love
I
that.
can.
I think I see it.
The way you're holding that book right now is like ruining my life. My
This
God.
is.
He has 5 copies.
I've got.
I don't
Karen, I've got
care!
more-
It hurts my soul.
Yeah.
This is
Choose
not
his
a signed
paperback.
copy. This is the one. I think this is the one I wrote in. Look, there's a sad face with crying.
I can't. I
It's
can't.
when Alec is telling her that he's for whatever reason you trust me. I think I'm sure. Oh, here's my heart. My heart. I'm sure there's like some shut up Brams. Go suck it, Brams. There's a lot of hearts when Alec talks.
Mandy doesn't have a favorite or anything.
No, I don't.
Not at all.
I think Mandy's really gonna like the epilogue of book 3, which
I'm not allowed to say anything. She told me not to react to it.
Yeah.
I was like, I will tell you when I start and when I finish, and I will give you no reactions.
Yeah, I was like, you can't.
I'm like, okay.
Don't talk to me.
I'll sit here quietly. I will say though, Mandy asked me when we were talking about it previously. She was like, "Have you gotten to anything?" I was like, "Nothing seems problematic to me. So either I haven't gotten to the parts that she was talking about, or nothing's problematic." So
hopefully nothing. I'm really, really careful when I write, so hopefully nothing is problematic. Yeah. But I'd rather err. Like all my other sensitivity readers that I've given it to, like. There's a trans character in book 3, and so I had a trans sensitivity reader, and there's polyamory in the book, and I had someone who's polyamorous, read it, and so far no one has found anything, but I'd rather
be
err on the side of caution, and then if there is something, I can fix it before it gets out there in the world, and
that's how it should be. Like you're mindful of like the communities that you're trying to represent, especially if it's not a community that you're a part of. Like it's so important that we like
sensitive.
We think about that. We take into account like I want to represent you properly, and I don't want to like make it terrible. Like it could be triggering to people. So
it says, and that made me want to die with music notes.
Mandy's just gonna read all her
there are
notes.
Spotify playlists on my website.
Yes,
that I listen to, and they're even divided up by characters.
Yeah. So are you to them. Creating these playlists as you write? Like, is it this is what I'm listening to as I write, or this is what makes me think of this character, or
both? Like, and especially like I'll be scrolling on TikTok and I'll hear a song. And like, there's one song, "I Haven't Met You Yet," I think is "I Haven't Met You Yet" is the name of the song. And I was like, oh, that's Alec, and I like pull up my Spotify playlist and I'm adding it to his. And then other times I'll just be like listening to songs that just kind of inspire me for like just in general, and then I'll add them, to different playlists as I listen. So it's a little bit of both.
Before I even looked at your Spotify playlists, the James Arthur "Say You Won't Let Go" just came on randomly, and I was like, that's Alec. Oh my god, it's like textbook. It's like the whole story.
There are some songs that definitely remind me more of characters that like there are some like I just been listening to on a loop because they just fit the character dynamics so perfectly. It's like they were written for the characters.
I love it. I love that so much.
All right. So I have literally nothing prepared. Nothing is coming to mind.
Yeah, my brain is toast.
I was like, what's a book? How do we read?
Yeah.
What's happening next?
We're just so excited and so thankful that you were willing to come on. Yeah.
Just come hang out with us for a little bit. It'll
be fun. I want to know, what are you reading right now when you're not writing? Books that aren't the Fire and Starlight. I'm ready for those too, but
I'm currently reading a lot of All for the Game fan fiction because I'm kind of in a little bit of a reading slump, and fan fiction just kind of smooths that over. But I'm also reading Husband Material by Alexis Hall.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But I'm not really in a rom-com mood, so I'm like struggling to read it, even though I absolutely love the book and the author. But I'm not in a rom-com mood.
It's just not the time. Yeah.
Book mood. And so, like, I'm really struggling to read it, even though I'm loving the book. So I'm going back and forth between angsty fan fiction and husband material. So
I love that.
Sometimes that's just what you need to do, especially as a mood reader.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say I have several like NetGalley like rom-com style arcs, and I was like, I need a break from this because I just want to read the Atlas Six. Like I want like a moody like learning and academia. So I was like, I gotta take a break
in an angsty book mood. Like I will none of the characters are like really happy, but they're still kind of happy.
They're
And
trying.
that like just angsty type of book. And yeah.
This is why I was telling Mandy, I think it was last week, like I'm in the middle of like 5 different books.
I
Because
could
it's
never.
just
Now that's too far.
I don't know. I can't get through anything. Like I need to start getting through things.
I don't have the attention span for more than 2 at once.
I don't know what it is.
Like 5. I've got.
I
like
don't know
5.
what
I'm
it is.
supposed
It's
to be
like if I
beta
have
reading.
if I have them on like different formats, I can like manage a little bit better. But if it's all like physical books or if it's all ebooks, then I'm just like, no, this is not acceptable.
No, I can't.
So I'm like, I'll have like a couple that are like ebooks and then a couple audiobooks and then some physical books, and I'll be okay. But I just
struggle with audiobooks because my mind wanders too much, and I'll just be like in the middle of a book and my mind will be and then suddenly we're like 3 chapters later and I'm like, oh yeah.
I listen at work because I can't like physically read while I'm working. Same. So I can listen. Can't stop me from listening to a book. But yeah, I'll have to like rewind a lot. Like
I have to, like when I'm going for like a walk around the block, that's about the only time I can listen to audiobooks because there's like nothing else distracting me. But yeah, I have to be in like a completely distraction free zone for audiobooks to work. Like I can't even listen to them in the car.
See, I can listen to him in the car. My husband like wants to be on the phone when he's in the car, so he'll call me or he'll call his dad, and I'm like, I just want to. If I'm driving by myself, I just want to listen to a book. Like that's all. It's peaceful.
Yeah.
But
are you the same way when you're writing? Like, do you need to not be distracted, or do you have something? I don't know, like white noise or like music or something?
I have to listen to music when I write. Yeah. Like when I'm writing, I typically listen to my playlist. And when I'm editing, I have a playlist that I listen to that's just like adventure music. So there's no lyrics. So I can focus on the words as, I'm editing. But when I'm writing, I have to have music. And I usually put in like earbuds because I have to block out my children. Otherwise, it's super distracting. But even when I'm like home alone and the house is like quiet, I have to have music playing when I write.
Yeah, because then it's too quiet.
Cannot be quiet. Yeah, like I have to have that music.
Yeah, have something going on. Yeah, I can see that. You can see that being helpful rather than because quiet is so loud.
And and like I said, the music that I have like puts me in the mood for the book. So it like sets the whole mood around the writing, and it kind of keeps me in the zone so that my mood isn't switching in like the middle of a writing session. Like I can stay focused on that mood because that's what the music is. It helps with that.
So what kind of music do you listen to when you're traumatizing us? Like in a really traumatic scene?
Super sad songs. Like, okay, there's one part, and I obviously no spoilers, but in book 4 that makes me cry my eyes out every single time. And I really need to get back into writing some scenes for book 4, but I have to go back and reread these couple scenes. And there's very sad songs that I listen to when I write those scenes, and I end up crying so hard that like I can't see the computer screen.
Oh
and
my
so like,
God.
I'm putting off writing more chapters in that spot because like those super sad songs mixed with the sad scene that's happening, like it's a lot emotionally, and when I finish those scenes I have to take a break. Like I have to go do something happy.
Hearing that I need to go take an ibuprofen right now. Like
you need something stronger.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Do you have like scenes like that? Will you like when you know like what your plan is for how traumatizing it is or something that's just really tough for you to get through, will you like skip it and come back to it? Like if you're just not in the right mindset to get to it, or do you just have to get it out?
I have to get it out because I make the story up as I go. A lot of times I forget what's happened. So I have to, like, anytime, like if I leave for a long period of time and then come back to work on the books, I have to reread everything I've written in that book, or I have no idea what's going on.
I'm so glad that's not just me.
Yeah.
This is why I'm stuck on chapter
I forget
7.
the details. And the funny thing is after I finish like a first draft, I will take a break and then come back to it. And I'll be reading and then I'll be like, oh, I forgot that happened. Oh, that was good. That was a good twist.
Woo,
Like,
yeah.
I surprised myself because I've completely forgotten
Yeah.
because I made it up in the moment. It wasn't planned ahead. And then I just kept moving with the story and forgot that it was even a thing.
It's so funny the way that you said that. You're like, I'm just making it up as I go along. You've probably seen this like tweet or I forget what it was, but it was it was like a review for a book, and they're like, it sounded like the author was just making it up as they went along, and somebody was responding like, should we tell them? Like,
they should have just responded with
literally
like Jim
exactly
from The
what
Office.
happens.
Yeah,
but I think that's also like why the foreshadowing in my books is so good, like in retrospect, is because it all happens so naturally. Like I was following the own foreshadowing and how it came about. Like I wasn't trying to force it. And like I picked up on the own clues that the characters were giving me.
Yeah.
And that turned into something instead of me trying to put it in. Like I think that's why it's not so good necessarily, but so subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the clues are there.
It's not as obvious.
But
because you don't already have that idea of like, how do I get to there? Like, how do I say that this is going to happen? Because you don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, it just happens.
You're just like, this happened here,
just listen
so
to what
this
they
makes
tell
sense
me.
to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, there are obviously some things that I know will happen. Like I know which couples and stuff are end game, but how I have no idea how some of them get together.
Amber knows this. I have an endgame couple, and if it doesn't happen, I'm coming over and screaming at you personally. She already knows. So prepare yourself. Oh. All right. I can't think of any other questions. My brain is blank.
All right, Amber, any last words for listeners before we stop torturing you?
I don't think so. Nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
All right, well, let's
Thank you so much.
You practice it so much. Do you want to throw out your quick pitch for your book?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
All right. So The Night the Stars Fell is a new adult fantasy following the only twins ever born in their kingdom and the chaos and magic they unleash when they turn 18.
And chaos and magic they unleash.
It is. So if you are not already the proud owners of any of Amber's books, what are you doing? Stop what you're doing right now. Go to Amber.
Start listening to us.
We're very smart people. I promise.
I do get orders all the time that say I'm buying this book because of the Incoherent Fangirls. Like it happens. That. Like I have at least 5 or 6 orders that have said that across the bottom.
Happy.
See, my ASMR works.
That makes me so happy. All right, so everybody, The Night the Stars Fell and Scar's Alex story is available now. Most places books are sold. You can pre-order your copy of The Starlight in the Shadows, which is book 2, and the novella Star-Crossed Cal story. Also available, most places books are sold now, I think. Or are you still waiting on some places?
The ebooks are available pretty much most places you can get ebooks. And the paperbacks will come out closer to time just because of how those are distributed. And if you go to my website, if you like getting your books from Kobo, I think that's how you say it, and you like Kobo books, if you go to my website and you purchase from the link on my website, not only do you get the book from Kobo, but you also support my local bookstore, Fiction Addiction.
Oh, cool.
Because I've set the link up through them so they get a little bit of that profit. So if you like supporting indie bookstores and you like Kobo, it's kind of a win-win.
Very nice.
That's awesome. So go to amberdlewis.com. You can get all of those books there, and they can be signed. And those will become collector's items one day. I promise you that.
Why do you think I have like 17?
Amber's, you guys.
No, that's just because I'm stupid.
Well, but also we're very serious. Like the series is gonna blow up. You are going to be one. You're gonna want to be here.
Yeah.
before that happens. I
So that
promise
you can be the hipster that says that they
I was
burned their
there
tongue because they
first.
drank their coffee before it was cool. Like, it's always been cool. So
It's always been cool. Thank you so much, Amber, for hanging out with us.
It
I
was
know
fun.
it's fun. It's totally like we are. I know you were worried because you're like, I'm socially. I'm like, me too. I
yeah.
promise.
I'm
I also am
super
socially.
awkward. It's funny because people don't always expect me to be super awkward in real life because I'm not online, but I am
No,
super.
I am too.
I'm
I am too.
totally just
And
like, ooh, what?
you know we're gonna make you do this for every release, right?
Yeah, just
Like,
prepare yourself.
Yay.
Just prepare
you gotta
yourself.
come talk to us again in
Come back,
November.
please. Yes. It would be an excellent birthday present, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so
This
much
has
for
been so
hanging out
much
with
fun.
us. It's been
Thank
so
you.
much fun. And congratulations. Seriously,
Yeah,
these books
truly
are amazing. We're
amazing.
so happy for you, and we can't wait to see what else comes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just be
Yay.
here
Okay.
dying.
We'll just be here
dying
obsessing.
until then.
We'll just be like, all right. Yay.
All
Bye.
right. We'll talk to you
Bye.
soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh. I love her.
I love her so much.
I do
She's
too.
so much fun. She's so much fun. She fits right in.
Yes, she does.
She's
So if we ever
she's one
decide
of
we need a
us.
third, we're gonna make
She's
her
one of us.
we're
One
gonna make
of
her
us. One of
co-host.
us.
Us. George Bailey is like, hold on, I'm one of us too. He's standing here looking at me like,
Well, then start speaking up, buddy.
you gotta bring notes. Who's your fangirl friend of the month? Who's your fictional girlfriend of the month? He's like, I don't freaking know what that means.
I don't know how to read, Mom. Oh my gosh, that just made me think of this clip of some of the Avengers cast on Jimmy Fallon. And Benedict Cumberbatch says something. He's like, well, Lizzie, if you read the script ahead of time. And she's just like, I don't read, Benedict. That's so funny. I don't know why I thought of that, but awesome sauce.
Do you have fictional person this week?
I do. I have multiple.
Oh.
I have multiple. Okay. So, first of all, Wanzu and Li Wei from Heart of the Sun Warrior. Both of them are vying for our main character's heart, and both of them are just wonderful. I love them both. One of them is like, and this isn't a spoiler because we know this. One of them is like the prince of the celestial kingdom, and the other one is like the heir to like the demon realm, and so they call it the demon realm. So I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, we like him. We like him a lot. We very much love him at the end. I mean, I did. But
listen, I'm here for the demon prince in Crescent City is who like has my heart. So like
I really thought I would like, because the whole time I was reading this, I was like rooting for one of them, and the other one I was like, you're okay. And then at the very end, this guy does something, I'm like, okay, that was great too. I love you both.
Yeah. You're like,
So,
dang it, guys.
I was
Come
like,
on.
I'm gonna go with both of them.
If I can't even choose how she's supposed to.
Oh my gosh. I love them both. They're wonderful. And then also in the stand-in, Sam Yao, who apparently in this world is like one of the sexiest men alive, like, as you know, and I'm just like, his sounds really hot, and also he is we talked about this, but he like platonic best friend with zero sexual tension.
Love
I love him, and he is so protective, and I love him.
Yeah.
So those are my peeps. Those are my boys this week.
Well, one of mine, I guess I can have two as well. Atlas Corrigan, because I read those 2 chapters and I just like, oh my God. So good. This is another, like, if you have not read It Ends With Us and you need a really good, strong cry. Trigger warning, there is domestic violence. there is homelessness. There's a lot of trauma, but oh my god, it's so good. And then this is the sequel. So just Atlas, God Almighty. And then Nico di Verona from the Atlas 6. Oh my gosh. I'm just like tortured. Just like I left it downstairs and I'm like I want to look and just see it because I know he's in there.
Just come on, let's go.
Like the fact that she has no, like she just hates him. She called Verona. She won't even call him Nico. She's like Verona.
Oh.
And like he eggs her on, and like he at one point he's like, I don't like you. Like he's like has to like keep up this ruse, but like I feel in my soul that it's a ruse. And like
I love,
so there's a lot of like little alliances going on, and like Nico and Libby, since they are like they've been in college together for 4 years and all through school, and because they're the only ones who can do what they do, and their powers are so like similar, they've always been in class together, always next to each other, and they're like, we're graduating and I don't have to see you anymore. And then the guy comes up and he's like, I'd like to invite you to a meeting about this.
oh my
and like
gosh,
so much tension, and I love it.
Yay.
So yeah,
I love
Nico di Verona is
awesome.
my fictional boyfriend this week. Sure, he'll be next week too, because I can only see this getting more and more tense.
I love it
In the best way.
All right. Where did your money go?
So I talked about it last week. Josh had COVID, so I was supposed to go to a book fair and I didn't get to go. I don't have all of my stuff up here because I am lazy and I got home later than I expected. But I have a photo that I will post, and I'm just gonna like look at the photo and tell you the things I got. So I got a bookworm sweatshirt, so it's like red and it just says bookworm. I got a hat that says still emo, because
that's so
until
you.
the day I die, pun intended, if you know you know, until the day I die, still emo. She did like custom tote bags for everybody, so mine is a peace sign with like little pads of paint all over it. I got Inkadoo tattoo pens for my nieces.
Oh.
I got fuck the patriarchy makeup bag.
Yes.
I got a pin that says school book fairs. I got a bookmark that says this is where you fell asleep. And I thought it was really cute. It's actually behind me.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
And then I got another magnetic bookmark that's like a tarot card that says the reader.
Yes.
I got, it's like a doggy ice cream mix. You add water.
Oh.
I got a couple of prints, like art prints. One of them says, it's got like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar, and it says I dissent. I've got one that's got an outline of Belle that says I'd rather be reading. Luna Lovegood Spectre Specs. I got some stickers and magnets. Girls just want to have fundamental rights. Bookish. Treat your shelf. I got a sticker. I put it on my laptop, so I can't show you because it's behind you. But it's like a 90s lunch tray, and it says we go together like square pizza and corn.
Oh my god. I love that so much.
I got an art print that said shit could be worse. I got some wrapping paper that I think I'm gonna wrap gifts for my mom in, that just says pure drugs, like over and over and over.
Yes.
And then I got a keychain that says book slut. I got a holder for my my vaccine card that says emo forever. And then I got 3 mystery books. And actually I just told her like she had a stack of books that were wrapped with like pick me 3.
Yeah.
So one of them came with 2 books. It's Gus and Brightside by Kim Holden. Appears to be like an indie author, so I'm excited to read those.
Yeah.
Then I got When We Believed in Mermaids by Barbara O'Neill. So Barbara O'Neill also wrote The Art of Inheriting Secrets, which I read earlier this year, I think. May have been the end of last year. But it's about this woman who I think she lives in Sacramento or San Francisco. I can't really remember. It's been a long time. But she like her mother dies, and she finds out that she owns like a manor in England. And so
Okay.
she goes to like sell it, but she gets there and like it needs a lot of work. And so she like fixes it up and ends up like kind of falling for somebody who lives there. And she's like, you know what? I could like live here and rent out parts of it. And like, because they were worried, a lot of the townspeople were worried that if she sold it, it would like they would like demolish it and put up like a parking lot. So I'm excited because that book was really good. And then I got The Good Daughter by Karin Slaughter, and her Karin is spelled like you spell it.
I know. The first time I heard Karin Slaughter was like in high school, and I like died. I'm like, we
Yeah.
need to be besties.
Yeah. So those were my mystery books. And then other than that, it was boring purchases. I bought a carpet cleaner. This is 33. Just a
You're an
carpet cleaner to
excellent
shampoo
adult.
my couch. And it didn't even work really well. I'm gonna have to do it again.
Oh man. Well, you do
Yeah.
have dogs, so.
I do have dogs, and I have a yard that's got some mud in it. What I need to do is get it really clean and then keep blankets on top unless people come over. Because I was stupid, okay? I got really excited because my couch, but listeners
Yes.
don't. Like it's like a kind of a U-shaped sectional, but like it's got like a drawer that pulls out and makes it like almost a square couch.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so excited to have like a square couch. I've always wanted one where you can just lounge and watch movies and have all this room. I got light gray because I was like, well, the dark color would show dog hair. I would much rather be lint rolling my couch right now than cleaning like the dirt. They're not like dirty dogs, but like they're dogs. They go outside, they play, they come in, and like they just beeline to the couch. Like they jump up on it and jump down. That's like their thing. It's their circle. So yeah, it's just like little muddy paw prints all over it that this just trying to make it look like a brand new couch with 4 wild dogs and 2 13-year-olds half the time and a 3-year-old sometimes and a 35-year-old. How old is he? 30 36-year-old 36-year-old man. Yeah, it's like there's these TikToks that go around every now and then, and it's like you can have the clean home of your dreams. You can have that house that is decorated perfectly and always clean. You just have to not have a husband or children or pets. If you already have them, it's fine. Just get rid of them. There's still hope. Oh, I don't know if I think it's in the episode. I talked about buying the toilet paper holder that just lifts up to maybe that small tiny amount of effort is little enough. It's not. I went in there today and there was an empty roll and one on the back of the toilet. I'm like, I would think that like the turning around would be harder than just lifting.
Man.
It's not. So
well,
maybe changing them a little easier on myself, I guess.
You tried.
Where did your money go this week?
I got a few things. I just had another package delivered by Amazon that's at my front door right now. I don't have it to show you, but I know exactly what it is. It is the Wanda Multiverse of Madness mini like keychain pop to go with all my other Wandas. So she's hanging out outside. I am wearing this, I call it my peekabooby shirt because it's got a boob hole. It's from Elhofer Design, and it's like turtleneck-ish.
I like it. It's
but
a pretty color too.
It's really pretty. It's like this gorgeous purple, but it's apparently like modeled after a Star Wars character that I had no idea. I just liked a little boob hole. It's really cool. And it's not like too much boob, but it's nice and cool on your chest. And then also from Elhofer Design, I don't know if you ever watched Blue's Clues as a kid.
Of course I did. I was a good American child. Oh my God, a Steve shirt.
It's a Steve shirt. It's so comfy. It's so soft. And it's amazing. It makes me so happy.
That's really cool.
So I got another package today from Elhofer, and it is this gorgeous oversized like crop sweater.
Cute.
She named it, the color is like Shades of Chaos. So it's like this really pretty like red, black, like very Wanda Multiverse of Madness colors.
Yeah.
So makes me very. I was like, I wasn't gonna buy anything, and then she pulled that out. I was like, well, fuck. You throw Wanda's name on it basically, and I'm in.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah, so that's from Elhofer Design, who are amazing. They're like this woman-owned clothing company in Southern California, and they produce everything domestically. So the
Very
prices
cool.
are higher, but it's because everything's produced in the U.S. and
Right.
it's hella great quality. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I have so much of their stuff. And then I got a lot of pins. I told you about them, but
Yep.
look, the first one I grab is a Loki.
My boy.
It's TVA Loki. So, for our listeners who don't know, 100%, I think they're called 100% Soft or 100 Soft. They are the ones who like created the little like trash dumpster fire. The dumpster fire like little like vinyl cute little dumpster fire thing that they sell, but they also have a partnership with Marvel where they create all the little emoji designs on Twitter. Like if you hashtag like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a little Doctor Strange like emoji pops up on your hashtag or whatnot. Or like when Moon Knight came out, you hashtagged Moon Knight and it would just have a little Moon Knight pop up.
Yeah.
And so they turned all of those emojis into pins. And for the longest time, I was like, I'll get them eventually. I'll get them eventually. And then, like, 3 of them sold out. And I was like, damn it, those were limited edition ones. They're not going to come back. But then 2 of them came back in stock randomly. Like, I ran on the website randomly. And, like, I was just like, they're there. They're amazing. Oh, no, don't fall. But, so, yeah, I spent a lot of money on these cute little pins. But, like, look. They're freaking cute.
They are really cute.
I will post a picture of them, but if you're on Twitter and you hashtagged anything Marvel in like the past year, you've seen these emojis.
Yeah.
And now they're in pin form. And we all know I love a good pin.
Yep.
So I got like, there's like, I don't know, like 20 of them in that bag. I didn't pull them all out, but there's a whole bunch. And so on last week when we recorded, after we recorded, my daughter comes in and talks to Mandy after we record every week because it's their little visiting time.
Auntie Mandy time.
Yeah, and she had the wiggliest tooth I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like hanging on by a thread,
and
y'all.
We're both making promises for her
to just throwing things out, like being like, well, I'll give you this if you let me pull it out.
Mommy will give you pins.
Yeah.
Mommy will let you get pins and stickers. And I'm like, I hope that's okay.
And so what finally sold her, she's like, Mommy, if I let you pull out my tooth right now, after we go to the library on Saturday, can we go to the bookstore too? And I was like, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So she let me pull her tooth out. She cried a whole bunch. It bled a whole bunch.
She added something else. I thought it was then Target.
Yes, then Target. But
then George Bailey.
Okay, so you didn't get the whole negotiation. You only got part of it. Yeah. So Mandy threw out, like, you can get some pins and stickers from, like, the little bin. And then she was like, I'll think about it. And so then after we hung up with Mandy, I was like, if you let me pull it out now, I'll call Aunt Mandy back. You can see George Bailey. And she thought about it. And then she threw out like the bookstore thing and Target. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And so grabbed a paper towel, stuck my hand in her mouth and pulled the tooth out. And she cried because she's quite literally, I have a very high pain tolerance. She has no pain tolerance. Like, you scratch her a little bit and it's the end of the world. Like, it's the worst. So I pulled it and it was fine. It was bleeding a whole bunch because it's your mouth. And so we had some leftover gauze from like when she had some dental work done. So I just stuck it in there. It was fine. Didn't even need more than one. So she was fine. But so we ended up going to the library and then the bookstore and Target. We also went to Barnes & Noble because I needed to stop at Barnes & Noble. I needed to. Yeah. So
I understand that need all too well.
Yeah. So we went to the library, we did that, and then after that we have an indie bookstore. It's about 30 minutes away, so it's in like a different city, but it's close enough that I'm okay going on the weekends. And so it's a little indie bookstore. It's called Linden Tree Books. It's where I got my Foul Lady Fortune arc, so I love them very much. Plus, they have rewards, and they're just amazing. So I was walking around. I had no intentions of buying anything, first of all. I just was going in. I wanted to, because they had previously had an event where I think it's Samira Ahmed was there. She was in conversation with Abigail Hingwen, and she signed a whole bunch of books. And I was like, oh, well, maybe there's still signed copies hanging around, so I'll go see if her book is still. There were not signed copies, so I was like, okay, I'm just not going to buy anything. But then I walked into the children's section and found a Mina Lima
Oh my gosh.
version of The Wizard of Oz. And we all know how I love The Wizard of Oz. So yeah. I absolutely had to get it. It's freaking gorgeous. You were
with me when I got my Beauty and the Beast, and it was the same thing. It's like, that's my story. That's my childhood story. I'm not leaving without it.
So I got that, and then I happened to glance up and see that I was in the graphic novel section, and I was like, well, if I'm here, I need to buy a banned book.
Yes,
so I bought,
and that's a good one.
Yeah, so I haven't read it yet, but I bought Genderqueer. I'm like, I'm gonna get it. Like,
it's a very quick read, and it's very, very good.
If I'm here, it was a sign. Like, I was standing in the graphic novel section. I was like, well, then I'm gonna look and see if they have Genderqueer, which they did. So I bought that, and then we were getting ready to leave, and I was like, okay, let's go check out. And then I happened to glance over at a table, and I saw The Silence That Binds Us, and it's a signed first edition, and it is Joanna Ho's first novel. She's the one who wrote Eyes That Kiss in the Corner. That it's a kid's picture book, and then I forget the name of the second book. But I have been wanting this book, and I was like, and I had looked specifically to see if they by chance had like signed copies, because I know she's a local author. Because my daughter has her 2 picture books signed. Like, I got her 2 picture books signed by her. So I just thought maybe they might have them. So I didn't see them on the shelf. So I was like, okay, well, if they don't, then I can come back and buy it anytime. It's not a big deal. Especially since I'm already spending money. And then I just happened to glance over on the table by the door, signed first edition. It was the only copy. I was like, well, guess I'm not waiting on that.
Yeah.
So I got that.
Go ahead and get that.
And she's so cute. She's there's a little heart over her name.
Oh.
So. And I haven't met her. She sounds like a wonderful human being. Because unfortunately, the day that she was signing at the bookstore, my friend had extra baseball tickets to go to a game, and I was like, it's at the same time, so I'm going to the game. And so the bookstore was like, you can leave it, we can ask her to sign it. So I left my books there, and she very kindly signed it and personalized them to my daughter. And so it's just like, I'm sure she's like a beautiful, wonderful person. And I believe the illustrator on her children's picture books is her husband too. So I think that's really cool.
Oh, that is really sweet.
So that's what I got from my local indie. And then I was like, well, I need to stop at Barnes & Noble, because they have an exclusive edition of For the Throne by Hannah Whitten, which is the second book in her series. And I have the first one, and I was like, well, if there's an exclusive edition, then I want to get that one, because I'm just neurotic like that. And even though I could have just ordered it online, I'm like, well, Barnes & Noble gives me a discount if I buy it in person, because I have the membership, which is really weird. I don't understand their process. But so I was like, I'll go in and I'll grab the book. So it was on the front. So it's For the Throne. It's Barnes & Noble exclusive. It was at the front. And I already took it off, but there was a buy one get one 50% off sticker on this.
Hey.
So of course,
I think that's how I got For the Wolf. It's because it was buy one get one.
So of course I had to go and get another book, right? And so on a table just behind that one was I can't pronounce it. Is it The Inheritance
of Orquídea.
I can't say that.
Orquídea
Divina. Yep. I was like, it's on the table, and so I mean, if there's a BOGO 50% off, I'm not just gonna buy one book. It's illegal. I told that to the books. I told that as I was checking out. I was like, well, I had to. It's buy one, get one 50% off. It's like illegal if you don't buy two. And
Yeah,
he just laughed at me. I'm like,
100%.
yeah. So I spent way more than I intended. But I got books. I got many
Yeah.
books. I also ended up getting like a bunch of books from the library too. When all I had intended to
You?
do was,
You did
yeah, yeah. I
You?
was just like,
Hold
I'm
on.
just gonna drop off the books, return the books that I have. I'm not gonna check out. No, no, I
I
lied.
dare not walk into a public library
I
these
lied.
days.
I lied.
My library would fall in on itself if I walked in with borrowed books. They'd be like, "Bitch, what are you doing?
There
You have
was
too many of us."
so how you guys have like the used book sale and it's like Friends of the
Mhm.
Library and it's a big old thing. We have a section in our library that is Friends of the Library. You can just shop whenever
Yeah.
there's just books there. And so I stopped on over and I was like, there was a book that I wanted and then I realized I did not have any cash on me, so I was like, I'll come back for you.
Oh, baby.
But it was like it's like 50 cents per paperback, like $1 per hardcover, and it's
Like
just
you
like
can't beat
you can't,
that.
and you're supporting your local library. So I do want to show you one of the books I got from the library, even though it's not something that I bought. I feel like you'll appreciate it. It's The Art of Encanto.
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
so excited. It's gonna be so pretty, I'm sure, because that movie was gorgeous. But yeah, so that is what I bought, and then I think was Fairy Loot this week. I got my Fairy Loot box.
I
You
did
got yours
too.
too.
Ah,
I like the
well,
book. It's pretty.
I liked the book. I was kind of disappointed in the rest of it
Yeah, I
this week.
really, really liked the letter opener. I think it's really pretty, and
I know.
I
Karen was like,
use
this letter opener is so cool. And I was like, who is using a letter opener that
me,
much in the
me,
year of our Lord, 2022? You
may
get
I
that
use.
much paper mail? Anytime I have to open my mailbox and for like that's not a package, I'm like, ugh. Just email me. Why are you sending me a list? Someone been kidnapped? Why are you sending me a letter?
I'm gonna start sending you letters now, just so you have a reason to use your letter opener.
I would appreciate it, yeah, because I'd love to be able to use it. But I'm
It's
just
so
like,
pretty.
ooh, it is gorgeous, and the
It's
straws are
gorgeous.
cool.
The straws, I'll use the straws for sure.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was underwhelming after the first one.
yeah. The first one was so good that the second box
I'm
was like,
you're really excited for the next
I'm
one.
pumped for the next one. They
Yeah.
said that there's going to be items inspired by the Cruel Prince, and I'm
Yep.
like, "What?" Or it's Folk of the Air is the name of the series, but it's the Cruel Prince. I'm like, give me all the Carden things, all of them, every single one. God, I love him.
I don't think I got my two Once Upon a Book Club boxes from I think June. So I got the adult and the YA. My adult one just came today, so I haven't opened it yet. So I haven't seen the book yet, so I'm really excited to open it because it's their first like special edition, like exclusive to them. So I'm very excited to open that. But yeah, other than that, nothing new.
Nothing new.
Nothing new other than the 50 million things I just named.
Yeah. Our poor houses are gonna run out of space eventually. They're gonna be like, you're showing your like what you spent your money on every week. Those things have to be put somewhere.
Yeah.
Eventually, that is
literally every week we have something to talk about in that segment too, which is so bad. Yikes! This is what happens when you have adult money.
Yeah,
you spend it on childish things.
When you're a millennial and you have adult money, you don't save it for a rainy day.
No,
because your whole life has been a rainy day. Our whole existence as millennials has been a rainy day. We don't remember. I wish I remembered precedented times. Okay.
We're constantly
I'm
in
so
unprecedented
tired of
times.
living in the I'm so tired of the unprecedented times. So if I get my paycheck and I
need some serotonin.
The book, I've got to have the serotonin somehow. So I'm gonna buy the books.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna get the books. I'm gonna get the cute little bookmarks.
I was gonna say, like, what am I saving up for? My own house? I live in the Bay Area. They're $1 million a piece.
Yeah,
yeah. All right, Mandy. What are you anticipating?
I think we need a sound for enabler alert because someone yesterday sent me that I forgot one of them's last name. Hold, please. The Jupiter music, the
The
Jeopardy
Jupiter music.
the Jeopardy music.
I'm calling it the Jupiter music from now on.
Where is it? It's
Probably on a shelf. Probably
it's
somewhere.
Amanda Foodie and
Wait.
Gorman. Yeah.
Wait.
You're the enabler.
It was me.
You're
That
the
was
enabler.
Me. That was
I guess
me.
I
was
I
like,
could
hold
put it
on a second.
I could look at my calendar.
That sounds familiar. That was me.
It is
Amanda Foodie and Christine Lynn Herman.
Herman, not Gorman, Herman. Are doing a virtual event with Barnes and Noble. Where they are going to be talking about, and like your ticket comes with a signed copy of All of Our Demise, which is the sequel to All of Us Villains, which I'm still reeling from. Still not well. So naturally,
it's not my fault, okay?
Yes, it is. You sent it to me.
No,
ignorance was bliss.
It's Barnes and Noble's fault for providing a list of all of their events after the event that I attended. So it's their fault.
Ignorance was bliss.
What were you? No,
because now I'm gonna get to see it and get a signed copy of All of Our Demise.
You're not, because it's a bad thing to get a signed copy of the book.
So that is August 29th. So I'm super pumped about that. Obviously, of course, we're anticipating the Starlight in the Shadows and everybody getting to read it so that you can talk to us about it. We are so pumped.
4 days.
Yes,
4 days.
4 more days.
And then I'm so excited.
On top of that, I added, even though it's not until October, but I added the Atlas Paradox, which is the Atlas 6 sequel, because I was trying to hold off. It was one of those books, and I remember when and where I bought it. It has been on my Amazon list for years. And like, I know I've talked about how like Josh will just randomly go on my Amazon list and just buy things.
Yep.
But it was a book that I wanted, but I never like it was just on my list, but it was like always one that I thought about. Like in particular, I really want to read the Atlas 6. I really want to read the Atlas 6. And so it never, like, he didn't do anything wrong, obviously, but like it was never ended up being one of the books that he ordered. And so early this year, I went with him. My husband is a ghost hunter. So he had an event in very, very West Louisiana. And so I went with him because the drive was going to be long. And on the way back, we stopped at a bookstore. I think it was in Mississippi. It may have been in Alabama. I'm not really sure. The bookstore was called Lemuria. It had like this giant, huge, I think it was like a hand and a top hat or something, huge display going inside. And I bought so many books. I bought so many books from there because it was an indie bookstore. And the Atlas 6 was one of them. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, it was early this year. I was like, the sequel comes out in October. I can make myself wait so that I don't have to wait.
Yes.
Like I don't have to like end the book and not know. But then Libby gave me the audiobook, and I had requested it in like April.
Yeah.
So Libby gave me the audiobook, and it was like, it's close enough. And I'm probably going to hate myself when I finish it.
Yeah.
For that mentality. But it's so good so far. And so I know that until it comes out, it's going to be on my what we're anticipating. So
I love it.
Yikes.
Love it.
What are you anticipating?
Well, of course, the Starlight in the Shadows. I'm very excited for that to finally become. I'm so excited for these swag boxes. I can't wait to see what everything is.
I know.
So excited. I was just looking at my calendar because I know that I have a couple upcoming things that I'm excited for. One of which is a conversation with Chloe Gong, being hosted by I think it's like the Auckland Libraries or something down in New Zealand. New Zealand is where Auckland is. Yeah. Unfortunately, when I signed up for this, because I see Chloe Gong and I immediately just
you're like, subscribe.
Jump first, ask questions later.
Yep.
So when I was adding it to my calendar, I realized that it happens an hour into my flight to New York.
No.
I was devastated. I'm like, I'm
Can you
buying the
buy
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
I'm buying the Wi-Fi on the plane. Like, it better be some damn good Wi-Fi because I'm
Yeah.
gonna listen to Chloe Gong talk.
Hey, I
So
forgot to point out on the
mhm.
Amanda Foodie, I don't know
Yes.
if you follow her. Do you follow Maggie May Be Reading?
Mm-mm.
She's a precious, like she's so freaking cute. She's a like a book talker who
Yeah.
is like hosting and like
Oh.
doing the Q&A with them.
Oh
So like
yeah, yeah.
I recognized her name.
I remember reading that on the event
Yeah.
page, but I don't know who she is. But
Yeah,
yeah, now that you've
you
said it, that's
probably
very
know her if you saw her.
probably.
I'm sure she's come up on your For You page,
Yeah.
but she's really
Yeah,
cute.
like just like how like what's his name, Easy Cat like comes up on my For You page
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
follow him. He just shows up all the
Yeah,
time.
she
There's
probably shows up.
there's the one, what's her name? What is her handle? She is she's a book talker, but she's also a bookseller in like England. It's like Mary Callow or something like that.
Oh, I
She's
don't know.
She's the one, I talked about this like many episodes ago, but she was the one who was telling us on her TikTok about a couple that came into the bookstore on a
Oh,
date
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
bought 3 books for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She probably had know her face if I saw her.
probably, yeah. I
Yeah.
think that's her name. I never like when I was talking about Easy Cat one time, you're like, "Oh yeah, that's Easy." I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's his name. That's his name."
Yeah.
Like I'd never looked at the username. So yeah, so I'm looking forward. I'm anticipating this conversation with Chloe Gong, but we'll see if I actually am able to participate.
Yeah.
We'll see. And then, in the same vein, since I will be flying to New York, I'm gonna go see Into the Woods with Pippa Sue.
I know. This is so exciting.
So
Are you anticipating anything else?
I don't know. I'm really looking forward to hopefully this conversation with Chloe Gong, Into the Woods, and then I also got tickets for an advanced screening of a movie called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul,
Oh
which
yeah, you talked about that.
yeah, I did I talk about it on the podcast or just with
Yeah,
you? Um,
I think you did.
I can't remember, but it is, who did I say? Regina Hall and Sterling K. Brown, who are gonna be
Yeah,
at the screening in addition to like the
he is so cool.
director and producer. I'm very excited. That'll be really fun. I did have to take
I
half a day
went.
from work because it's in San Francisco,
Yeah,
but that's okay.
I
It'll be
went
fine.
from like utterly loathing him because
Hmm.
on Supernatural he's such a jerk to like adoring him from This Is Us.
Yeah, yeah. I
You,
am
I
very
know.
excited.
Now I'm wondering if you talked about it on the podcast because I know you put it on TikTok, and you and I talked about it, so you may not have talked about it on the podcast.
Well, here I am talking
My
about it.
brain.
I know there's too
Here you
many
are
things
talking
going
about
on.
it.
I think
Yeah.
that's it. If there's more stuff, it's not on my calendar, so um, let's see. I can't think of anything,
We'll talk
so
about
we'll
it
just go.
next week.
Yeah, we'll follow up next week.
Yeah. All right.
right.
Do we want to do a spiel?
Yes, let's do a spiel. We've been talking a long time.
My voice is hurting.
All right. Well, dear listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe us wherever you are listening to. Please follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and TikTok at The Incoherent Fangirl or Twitter at Incoherent Girls because Twitter is rude and has a character limit.
Boo for the dumpster fire of the internet.
We hate them.
We hate them.
Please like our Facebook page and visit our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes as well as read our blog. We've gotten much better at posting on there.
Yes, we have.
And we've got a lot of things that we're going to be reviewing in the next couple weeks. So there's going to be lots of blog posts.
Yes.
You can also visit our YouTube channel if you would rather stream our episodes on there. Every episode is available as audio only. We will eventually be using YouTube for Patreon perks such as full video episodes and bonus material. If you have any suggestions for Patreon, what you would like to see, or just any suggestions in general, you just want to talk to us, send us an
Fangirl
email.
out with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Send us an email. We're theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. And is that the end of us? She is
No,
at Mandy
yeah.
Curve.
And she is at Ms. Made in China on all the things.
All the
Go
things. I
find
remembered at
us.
the very
Oh,
last second.
and leave us reviews. We like to hear how cool we are.
Yes, please leave us
Yeah.
reviews. We love that.
Leave
Wherever
us
you are
reviews and tell
listening.
us we're pretty.
Yes, we would really appreciate that. I was bullied as a child, okay? Tell me I'm pretty. I need
You're
validation.
beautiful. And now we have some besties too. We have
Oh
some
my gosh, we have
intimate
the
besties. The
best
bestie
besties.
besties.
The best
Yeah.
besties. You can visit herecomestenerd.com and use code FANGIRL to get 20% off your first order.
Or you can go to onceuponabookclub.com and use code Mandy10 for 10% off.
And if that's not enough books for you, head on over to noveltychest.com. That's novel like a book, tea like the drink, chest.com. Use code FANGIRL5 and you'll get 5% off your monthly subscription.
And just in case that's not enough tea, it's never enough tea. Ever. There's not enough tea in the world. You can go to grimoiretea.com and use code FANGIRLT. Just take out the I. FANGRLTEA for 10% off your order. We love our
Yay.
besties. And
We
we
love
love
them
you.
so much. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate
love
you so much. We love
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.